Okay guys, so let me just ask you a very important question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. How the heck is this even possible? We see ancient, or not that ancient, but quite old architecture, which is obviously more than 100 years old. We're looking at 200 years potentially. And we're looking at Brazil, Hungary, New Zealand, Sri Lanka. All of them have very similar formats and shapes, almost as it was built by the same civilization, but separated by distance. How is this even possible? But of course, this is just one example, but let me just show you something even more weird. And we are going to go to the Portland Forestry Center, which is in America. And this one, guys, is one of the most mysterious, bizarre, and weirdest buildings, which was built for obviously giants or beings which are much bigger than humans, because it just does not make any common sense. Now, the Forestry Center, guys, is something that has been a debate for quite a long time. This is actually a photo. Let me see if I can find it across here. This is actually a photo of them building, supposedly, allegedly. Do you see something unusual here? Something very suspicious? Well, I do see something very suspicious. Almost no one is working on here. We have one guy at the top there. This one guy who is apparently somehow moving the lodge or allocating or taking care of this massive lodge. Seriously, are you kidding me? And then a bunch of people just standing still there doing nothing effectively, and just some spectators, people dressed in very nice clothes. Even this guy was dressed in such nice clothing. That's not a worker, okay? The clothes you would wear to work with wood and on dirt effectively, okay, is not something you would effectively do. This photo is a montage. This photo was put in there, and this is the remains of the structures, which of course were already there. And they try to basically simulate that they were the ones building it. I just don't buy it. I'm very sorry. Look at this building and look at the size of it, and look at the comparison between normal human beings, children, or even adults. We see now some adults photos, and these massive logs. This was supposedly, the Portland Forestry Center was supposed to be built in for an expo. But really? I mean, do you really need to make these ginormous, huge wooden columns like that? Okay? Over there? Are you seriously kidding me? What was the purpose of this? This is an adult. Look at these logs. Can you imagine the amount of effort? Look at this small bench, which were obviously brought in afterwards. And it just looks hilariously weird, like the tiny human bench and then the massive log built by someone else. Okay, this is another example here. Look at the humans here. Look at, I mean, this is like human size. And then look at these massive logs, ginormous, guys. Doesn't make any sense. Look at this. This is the expo. Okay, this is where allegedly the expo was taken. And again, this photo is very suspicious. One more time, you have just here a bunch of random people sitting there, almost like it's a montage. Okay, just sitting there nicely, ready for the photo, and there are not that many people anyway. And it just screams to me something here is not right. Something here is out of place. Okay, and just remember, look at this. Look also, which is very important, even the windows are massive. They're gigantic. They're huge, all right? Very interesting. This is another example. Look at this, and look at the humans just in the corner here, okay? Why do humans need to do this? It doesn't make any sense, does it? It literally goes against all common sense and logic, completely. These logs, which were cut, as you can see here, imagine the amount of resource they had to spend on making that particular building made of complete wood. And what's even more surprising is that after the expo, suspiciously, the building burnt down. That's right. After a while, the building disappeared. And the reason it disappeared is because many people were asking themselves a lot of uncomfortable questions about this particular place. That, of course, is an alarm bell, and they had to burn the building down because it was effectively an example of that something is out of place. Maybe they didn't want people in the future, obviously, but later on, maybe for example now, to go there, investigate, and establish that obviously something is out of place, something that doesn't make any sense here. The technology used in the construction of this building was very different to what they would do back in the day. Now guys, I know that some of this stuff may sound a bit crazy to you, but just give it a moment, let it actually sink in. I really want you to think here for a second, something really important here. Ask yourself, common sense, okay? Why would people go out of their way to make such a ginormous building back in the day just for an expo, okay? We're talking about just an expo. Why would you go through all the effort to make this huge gigantic room, okay, wasting so much wood, okay, just for one single expo, or a couple, doesn't matter, okay? I just can't accept that. That's just impossible. And like I said, even this one for me, it's clearly an example of a montage. I mean, it just screams to me that these are a bunch of people who are just put there to just stand still, just pretend they're actually working effectively when no one is really working. This was just put there as, you know, special effects effectively to justify that these humans made that building. But I'm just not buying it. I'm very sorry, I just cannot buy this. This is way too obvious that someone is playing with us, someone is manipulating our past. And this building is just one more example of that. Guys, as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel and of course activate that notification bell. It does support the channel massively. And remember, you are free to believe what you want. This is just one perspective. You may have a different perspective, which I of course respect, but from my point of view, me personally, this is utterly strange, and it obviously shows this was a repurposed building built by someone else who had the craft, the power, and the strength and the ability to do this. Now, who knows why, how, what's the reason? No idea. But guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next one. Bye.